Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video and hope you guys are doing well today. So, we talked about heroics, we talked about dungeons, what about raids? Tier 11, in my opinion, is one of the, if not the best tier of raiding Blizzard has created, especially for a first tier of an expansion. Now, that's a bold statement, but let me explain why. There's two main raids, one small Obsidian Sanctum style raid and a Vaults of Archivon replacement, totaling 13 normal bosses and one heroic only boss in phase 1. That is just huge amounts of content. Now, going into these raids, I'd expect most serious players to be around the 350 iron level. Maybe some lucky people will be slightly higher with the use of BOEs, and some will be lower just if they're unlucky. But around that mark is going to be what I expect. Now, going into normal raids will provide a challenge, but it shouldn't be anything particularly tough around that sort of gear level and in an organized guild. If you cleared like the top content in Wrath, the heroic content in Wrath, I'd expect you to be fine with most of the normal bosses. Maybe a little bit of prog here and there, but I can't imagine it's going to be anything too tough. Now, going in with anything less than, let's say, 3, 4, 5 item level, I'd consider you under geared for the raid, and it can become quite tough. Burn phases are particularly common in tier 11 with, I mean, 3 or 4 that I can think of off the top of my head, if not more, and implying a like kind of kill or be killed phase. Higher DPS and healing are always going to help with that. Some phases are just survival, and having more health always helps. So, like, I mean, consider Nefarian if you understand the fight. There is electric that comes down when the boss takes 10% of his health and does a lot of ray damage. The more health you have, the easier it is to kind of make sure that you're not going to die to other damage during this. Now, we aren't sure how Blizzard are going to handle the heroic release of content yet, so I'm going to assume two things. One, that heroic and normal will be released at the same time, and two, that we'll be able to swap between heroic and normal bosses at will, as was available in the original Cata. Now, this means that serious guilds will be pushing for early progression of heroic bosses, and this is where a serious difficulty jump is going to come in. Because, especially while low geared, some of the loot pinata bosses will go down with good mechanics, but some of the harder bosses I expect to cause even the top guilds some problems. Heroic progress on certain bosses really do require some interesting mechanics, and similar to what I mentioned in the dungeon video, mechanics are the most important part of these boss fights. Simply doing numbers and avoiding fire isn't always going to be enough. Take Cho'Gall, for example. Has some very simple mechanics. Interrupt, kill one ad, AoE some other ads, nuke the boss. That's the core to the fight. If I told you those tactics, I wouldn't be telling you anything that I've missed for that fight, really. But the kicks need to become almost instant. The ads have to die at the right time in the right spot, or it messes with the position of the entire fight. If the small ads become a problem and get to the boss and start getting to random people, it's a wipe. If you don't have the DPS to just kill him through his burn phase, it's a wipe. It's all actually very punishing. Overall, and to summarize, I think normal will be actively puggable and very easily doable, and dare I say it, you will see GDKPs in there very early on. And I think some heroic bosses will be very puggable and easy to do as well. Think Halphus, Atramedes, Chimeron. All of those will be kind of puggable very quickly into the expansion. And I imagine again they will be GDKP'd. I also think some extra heroic bosses will be very easy in a regular guild group, like Conclave of Wind in Throne of Four Winds, or Omnitron or Magmor. I think these fights will be very, very organized once you've done it once or twice with the similar sort of comp. Whilst other heroic bosses will be an absolute nightmare to progress and actually require some wipes. So overall, I don't really know what else to say about it. Raids aren't that difficult, in my opinion, but it is definitely a step up. It's tougher than Wrath, and I think normal is probably akin to like the heroic content in Wrath, while heroic is just a different level on top of both of those. So if that's something you're looking forward to in Cata, great. Let me know in the comments. Are you looking forward to the difficulty increase, or are you a little bit kind of not interested or afraid of it? Thanks for watching, guys, and catch you later. Goodbye.